Hey everybody, this is what happened, but you weren't here, so you missed it. It's been a while. It's Sunday today, and I guess you're gonna see this on Sunday, so that's a first. I'm already taking some more footage later on today that you're gonna see tomorrow, so we're gonna try and get back into the vlogs a day behind like they were before. We just had my dad's funeral on Saturday, so I wanted to share a little bit of that with you. Not the funeral, but more so of the celebration of his life afterwards. We had a reception afterwards, and all of the family that had come to the funeral had gathered together. We shared a meal, and we all shared our stories about what everybody remembered and loved about my dad. So first I want to show you one of the pictures that was at the funeral home. Well, I mean, I've seen this picture all my life because it's always been on the dresser in my mom and dad's bedroom. And it's my dad taken in Paris. I guess he's in his 20s, and I love this picture of my dad because he looks so handsome. And by the way, his name was Charles. You know him as Gramps, but his name was Charles. Everybody called him Charlie. Nobody ever called him Chuck, though. It was always Charlie. Uncle Charlie, you know, or Charlie, or... So he was a very handsome man, I think. And him and my mom were pretty much inseparable their entire almost 58 years of marriage. And this is their wedding picture. I love this picture. My mom had a beautiful gown. They're married in a big church, and I wish I could have been there to see it, but you know, obviously I wasn't because I wasn't born yet. But it really looked spectacular, and they had a fantastic life together. They did everything together up until the end. I mean, they were going out driving all over the place. They still drove. My dad should have been 83 in May, so he was 82 and a half-ish. And my mom is 80. She's just about to turn 81. So my mom would always say, the perfect age for your husband to be is exactly 2 years older than you. I said, well, that's because your husband is 2 years older than you, right? And she's, yeah. But my husband's only 6 months older than me, but I think that's pretty perfect, too. So without further ado, let me get to the clips from the celebration of my dad's life. And I'm going to warn you, some of them might be a little funny, some of them might be a little strange. My mom actually wrote a statement, I want to say, or a story. A story implies that it's fiction, but it was mostly true. That my nephew read. My nephew from California, you'll know him as Coupon Queen's son. And he's also known within our family as the golden boy because he was the first grandchild and he just happened to be a boy. So he was always the favorite. So he read that statement at the beginning, and then I'll put some of the clips when people had gotten up. Unfortunately, when I got up to say my piece, nobody filmed it. Or at least I don't know of anybody that filmed it. I know I didn't. I should have handed the camera to my husband, but I wasn't thinking. But my story was that... no was not in my dad's vocabulary. If you needed anything, and I mean anything, he would have been there in a heartbeat. And it didn't, you know, it didn't matter how much it cost. Like when I was ready to go to college, he never said, how much does that school cost? I don't think we can afford it. He just said, get into that school and you're going. So, I mean, he was amazing. My mom, too. Like I said, they were inseparable. They were a pair. They complemented each other perfectly. My mom was the enforcer and my dad was the softie. So they had the whole good cop, bad cop thing down. And I loved remembering all the things with my family. And yes, the funeral was sad, but afterwards it was just a wonderful remembrance and time with family. And that's the thing I really look forward to at funerals, is like the after part when you can just share everything that you've been through with everybody else. And then unfortunately everybody goes their separate ways until the next one, but it's nice to have those times, although few and far between, that you can share bits and pieces. And again, I want to thank everybody on the sad news video. All of the comments were extremely, extremely appreciated and touching, and it helped us all get through a really tough time. And you guys are just amazing. You know, you never cease to amaze me. So thank you so much for all your support, and let's get to some clips.
We're gathered here today to honor the life of our beloved husband, father, grandfather, great-grandfather, uncle, and friend, Charlie. My grandfather, Charles, touched many lives with his kind-hearted, gentle, loving nature. He truly was a servant at heart. Many of you know, for those that don't, at the age of 16, he apprenticed at the Essex House in New York City. He proudly served in the Merchant Marine as a chief cook, baker, and chief steward. He was called to active duty in World War II and the Korean conflict as military police. He sailed the 7 seas with waterman lines, Robin lines, U.S. lines, and more McCormick lines. And Grandpa returned with thrilling stories and tales of adventure, but little did he know that it would be his good friend, Captain Nick, who brought him home to dinner one night and introduced him to the future love of his life, my grandmother Jenny.
Yeah, a round of applause.
Grandpa Charles charmed my grandmother with his shy demeanor. He was shy. In 1953, Granny and Gramps were wed and became inseparable helpmates to one another. They worked tirelessly side by side as they hosted endless family gatherings. Today the baton is passed, and Gramps, who will be dearly missed but not forgotten. I was going to crack up on this. Your sense of humor was infectious and lives on in the lives of all of us. And because of his faith in Jesus Christ, it will never be goodbye, but just see you later. For me, being the oldest grandchild and growing up in that house with my cousins, my grandfather was all about lessons, and it was never about overt lessons. It was always subtle, and it was in the little things, the cooking, the sense of humor, and I think he taught me not to take life too seriously. And I will never forget that, and I try and teach that to my children, and I just feel so honored that my children will have a memory of their great-grandfather, especially my oldest son, Alec, who's with us today.
I went to an all-girls academy, and my husband went to an all-boys academy. We were at a mutual dance, and it was getting at the wee hours of the morning, and the last dance was playing, and we were getting ready to go home. My husband had asked me for my phone number, and didn't have a piece of paper or anything. Well, out of nowhere, my dad comes running across the floor, paper and pen in hand. Listen to my husband.
Just trying to get rid of it.
But that was my dad. You know, he was there always there. And I, like many people know, have had a lot of series of illness in my life. But yet, my mom and dad, every time I needed them, no matter where I was, which was mostly in California, were always there. Many times I was in the hospital, my husband called up within a matter of days. They flew across, dropped everything, first of all, flew across the country, and nursed me back from so many illnesses I have. So I could never even begin to repay what the kindness they gave me. And I hopefully will do that to the same my son and my 3 beautiful grandchildren. But
you know, I never realized until recently how special my uncle was. Just his ability to mask all the issues that he was living with his own body and still be so joyful with all of us. It just it was amazing, and I think that was one of the greatest lessons I learned. He could endure things and still smile through all the misery. Of course, I remember as a little boy, and when he brought his brood out to Long Island, and we intermingled amongst us, and those were great times, and everything was so gregarious and happy at the table. There was never a dull moment, and the laughs were just continuous, and I realized how special those times were, and I'm going to miss him terribly. I love him too.
No, right.
shuffle up.
Shuffle time.
You
Who
are
has more
bored of
cards,
shuffle.
Alec or Grandma?
Oh, the lights are blinking.
Alec, would you rate Grandma a
Blink,
professional or an amateur?
Blink.
How would you rate Grandma at card playing?
Alright, go away.
Is Grandma really good or not so good? Not so much, huh?
Oh, gave Grandma bad rating.
By the way,
Grandma's
everybody,
bad.
this is Coupon Queen.
Coupons live!
A bad rating for Grandma.
Everybody knows you.
And son of Golden Boy.
Right.
Firstborn.
And that's Golden Boy, but that's not his screen name because he doesn't have one.
And I wish I had my 5 pups here, but I don't. I had to
I
bring my
know.
son instead.
Oh, that's so cruel. Oh.
All right, Al, let's do it.
Oh, look, he's got a tongue. He's got a pizza tongue.
Al is again killing
wipe it,
Grandma.
Oh.
Come on, Grandma. Oh, no.
You might
Don't
as
get
well
that
hang it up.
cheesy grin on your face.
Show some mercy, Al. Show some mercy.
Come on, Al. It's not going to be a wipeout, is it?
Oh, Grandma finally. There's a sympathy one for Grandma.
Bring it out.
This voice over here is husband of Coupon Queen.
Head Sherpa.
Yes.
Head Sherpa.
What song are you singing, Drive?
Oh, war.
Ready?
It's a war.
Ready,
Yeah,
Freddie?
ready.
1, 2, 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Go.
Al wins again.
Oh.
You're just killing Grandma.
Let's just go around. There's Granny and Maddie and Aunt Anne-Marie. And not my husband. You can see his legs.
He does exist.
Yes, he does.
Say something, Mark.
Something.
Somewhere on the planet he exists, right?
Yes.
He's
We want to leave
hovering
you out, honey.
in outer space.
And there's
Wants some
Sean
coffee,
like a
anybody?
bear.
Yes.
He's in the pantry over there looking, foraging for food.
No, thanks.
I would love coffee.
Coffee?
Yes, please.
Coffee, coffee.
So on the
Oh, you are just killing your Grandma.
Put that back.
And until next time, much love.